Right, good Friday. It is time to go home, and I'm going to bring you all a little bit of news I've seen today. Joe Biden gets heckled. Okay, so the Joe Biden gets heckled at the Summit of Americans. This video, and there's a dude in the back of the crowd who is just screaming at him. I can't make out what he's saying, but it's definitely some dude that's protesting, and I guess there's several others. Uh, Obama says we have to take steps to detoxify our discourse, particularly the scourge of disinformation, conspiracy theories, and hate online. That's what Obama says. Is he talking about them doing? Because that's what they're doing. I mean, he, something that we need to figure out here is like exactly where the misinformation, the conspiracy theories, and the hate is coming from their side. Those are the ones. They're the ones that are going after judges. Those are the ones who are screaming profanities on camera in front of children at LGBTQ children meet and greets where they hand them dollar bills at clubs. They're constantly having these conspiracy theories of us being somewhat uh, bad for democracy. That's their conspiracy theory. Their conspiracy theories of just so many things left and right, and yet they try to say that they need to do something about us. We haven't done anything. We haven't we we have not done anything. I know that they're trying like all get out. J6 should have been the cream of the crop. We were supposed to go in there and create all this havoc so that they could throw it in our face. However, the problem with their plan was they didn't have a backup. They're using this J6 because that's all they got. And we didn't give them what they wanted. There was a little bit of stuff that went down. I'll agree that there were some things that, had we not done the littlest things that happened, it would have been really nice. But considering the tensions, considering what everybody was feeling at the time, considering what everything was riding on, what little happened, it was absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad that it didn't turn out to be no more of an event than what it was, and probably wouldn't have turned into that had they hadn't have had certain bad actors that got in there and stirred up the crowd. um, that was our fault for following some of those leaders into what leaders being the ones not Trump, but the bad actors that were on the actual in the crowd that were stirring everybody up, and then you had key players too that enabled other things to happen. We just some of those people fell into that. That doesn't make them bad people, considering that the only person that was actually killed, well, not the only person, but the one that we know the most. You had Susan Boyle, who was beaten, and you had Ashley Babbitt, who was shot. Okay. Other than that, and mind you, that after all that, give them a couple hours later, they slid right back in there and finished up what they had to do. And it just gets me that the people that were running this country that we relied on so hard, like Ted Cruz and other people, there was some Trump endorsed candidates that actually won their seat. But before you know it, they actually changed their whole opinion. They were going to relook at all of the electrons that came in. They wanted to take a look and send the electrons back to the generator where they came from and have those read, because there was a crowd of electrons that went up there to bring those electrons in that weren't even supposed to be there. The actual real people came, and they had already had the committee started. I watched the video for that. So Obama once again sticking that dirty nose of his out. It's awful. But watching Joe Biden gets heckled, that's just. I'm watching how many videos I put, because right now I'm just trying to. So if anybody's watching this for the first time, I usually will link a video and everything. Right now, just to keep things safe, because YouTube is mad at me, I'm going to adhere to some of their guidelines just to see how everything rolls out. So just bear with me. It was a great video. It was excellent to watch. But and I tell you what I will do. I'll link this stuff so you can check it out. And also, there's a segment where it's called The Invisible Man. Dude, Joe Biden stands there for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's a long time he just stands there, and nobody walks up to talk to him. He's just sort of looking around, doesn't really know what's going on, and it's just, man, it's just absolutely, it's funny, but it's sad, because that's how weak we are right now. And Joe Biden, of course, downplays the downplays inflation by saying, well, everybody's getting paid more. You know, I think that what the problem is ever since when you try to do such a bad thing like they did in 2020, which was so blatant and so obvious that it wakes so many people up, they are so out of touch that probably 7 or 8 years ago we would have failed for that. There was a lot of people that would have failed for that excuse that said, hey man, yeah, that's right, we're making more money, it's all right, it's all right. In all honesty, dude, these people are awake. They don't understand that we are awake. We see what's going on, and there's nothing. And that's probably why you'll see so many weird things going on behind the scenes, like all the fencing going up, and all the extra security that they get to have that has all their firearms to protect them. And it said here, people involved must be held accountable. Hillary Clinton pops off about the J6 show trials. You daggone right. Everybody does need to be held accountable. That's one thing I can agree with, Miss Hillary Clinton. Everybody involved needs to be held accountable. Yes. Now, everybody, think about that. Everybody needs to be. And by the way, right now as we speak, you got Napa County DA's office who's refusing to release the DWI footage of old drunk Paul Pelosi, who, by the way, if anybody doesn't know about Paul Pelosi, when now don't get it, he's 82, but back when he was 16, God knows what happened between there and there because of the fact of his political power and his gain. And it's obviously if you read the article about when he was 16 years old and he wrecks a vehicle, that high performance vehicle in the 50s, and kills his brother in the process. Their family came from a pretty well-off background, because if you're driving a car that in that year that was that high performance, you had a lot of money, especially if you were young. You had a rich daddy, and he was paying for everything. By the way, when that happened back in those days, all of it got swept up under the rug, and he didn't have any legal recourse and didn't have to do any time or any probation for that death of his brother. So somebody greased some pockets back then. So, by the way, everybody needs to be held accountable. All right, so we're going to do. Oh, by the way, let's quote. I would like to quote the great Steve Bannon. I dare Merrick Garland to take that crap from last night and try to indict Donald Trump. Steve Bannon on fire following Liz Cheney's failed primetime show video. And what he's talking about is Liz Cheney made remarks and put words in Trump's mouth in this hearing that were not legitimate. They were not true. She lied. Trump never said we're going to hang Mike Pence. Never did. There's a lot of other things that went on too. But another thing, I was reading through an article today, and he had an attorney. This attorney's protecting this guy. But Ezra Miller, does anybody know who Ezra Miller is? Ezra Miller is this person. I won't even call him a dude, because right now I'm trying to keep YouTube happy, so we're just going to call them he, shim, hey, there. And a matter of fact, that's what it goes by. The parents of an 18-year-old woman who sought out an order of the protection against Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller, by the way, I would call him our new Andy Dick, but protected by the left, because Andy Dick was a little bit early in his antics. Andy Dick nowadays would have been a protected class citizen, and he would have been a superstar. Right now, he started this a little bit before it was time for this whole movement and indoctrinating kids, because Andy Dick is in a bad state. But this dude right here, well known for certain interactions with underage girls. This guy, Ezra Miller, started a movie called The Flash, in case anybody's watching this and doesn't know who the heck this guy is. Well, I don't know much about him either. All I know is I've seen more videos of him getting booted out of clubs and arrested for disorderly conduct and inappropriate, whatever word you want to call it, things with women, okay? He's been in trouble, like just like Andy Dick did all these inappropriate things to people and got in trouble for it. Now he's doing it. But on top of that, this dude met up with a 12-year-old girl, Ezra Miller did, on the set of his movie. What was the name of it here? I'm going to give me a minute here because I can't even remember the name of the movie, but it had something to do with Fabulous Beast or something like that. So I'll read the article and it'll tell you the movie that they met at. So this, and the names of the parents you can tell are progressive people. So this whole thing went bad. I mean, it went terribly bad. But attorney and activist Chase Iron Eyes and his pediatrician wife, Sarah Jumping Eagle. These are the names of these people. But what gets me is this dude's an attorney. How they let this get this far without charges being filed is just beyond everything I could ever imagine. But in court documents obtained by TMZ on Friday or on Wednesday, said Miller, who uses they them pronouns, has been controlling their daughter, Dakota Iron Eyes, from the moment they met. The pair initially connected in 2016 when the actor was 23 at the time. So that puts him 27, 20, what year is this? 2016. So no, that would put him, he's almost 30 years old. Oh my gosh. Anyways, Miller took an immediate liking to the girl and started plying her with alcohol and drugs like marijuana, showing a clear pattern of corruption and corrupting a minor. Her parents alleged, in documents filed on Tuesday in Standing Rock, Sioux Tribal Court in 2017, the actor allegedly flew Dakota to London to visit the studio where Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was filmed. I remember when this movie came out, and it just I don't know why people want to see these weird movies anyways. None of it. When I was a kid, I wanted to laugh. I wanted to see something funny. These movies nowadays are just messing kids up with all this adult themed stuff. They don't. That's why kids aren't happy. They don't have anything that's fun anymore. They've taken the fun out of everything that children had. Like, children used to have fun toys. There was no adult themes. There was no sexuality. They could just enjoy their childhood. But now you're looking at situations where everything is based on trying to just eliminate childhood straight to adulthood and deal with the consequences after you've made terrible decisions before you were old enough to make those right decisions. So in 2017, the actor allegedly flew this girl to London to visit the studio where the Fantastic Beasts were to find him was filmed. Ezra uses violence, intimidation, and threat of violence, fear, paranoia, delusions, and drugs to hold sway over the young adolescent Dakota. I'm going to tell you where I have a problem with this whole thing, and you're going to be like, yep. All right. So her parents claimed, adding to that, he displays cult-like physiologically manipulative, controlling behavior. This all happened when that girl was 12. So what's the problem I see with the whole thing? Yes, Ezra Miller sucks. Yes, he's a pedophile. Yes, he does some weird stuff. Or it, he, him, they, there. But the parents, that's the problem. Now the person is 18 years old and there's nothing they can do about it. This all has been going on for a long time, which means that somebody was getting paid. Somebody was getting paid to let that girl go up there without saying anything about it. Something happened where those people either didn't get paid or something happened and now they're trying to do legal recourse. There is no way in the world that anybody in their right mind would let their daughter go fly off with some dude who especially looks like that limp-wristed noodle-armed freak. Those parents. I don't want to hear anything. I'm very sad that the girls had gone through this and now her life is forever changed and she'll never actually be a normal person or grow up in a normal way because she had to skip her whole childhood. But the parents that let that happen, they are the ones that need to deal. Well, God will deal with them. That's just all there is to it, because there's nothing you and I can do. But we can be aware of the fact that their plight for legal action comes a little bit late, considering the fact that there's a pretty good chance that there was something going on a whole lot bigger than that. So anyhow, I will digress on that. So I wanted to get these few articles out. And don't forget that a while back I did a video. Any of the new subscribers that doesn't know this, there's a video on my Rumble page, about 3 videos down, and it has to do with Greg and Kathy Englebright. And these people put together the most involved cell phone data, not ping data, but actual location that we would use for GPS maps, the same information that you would use for if you were going to use this information in court to place a killer in a certain location that's usable in court. The same information that the CDC is currently using as we speak to verify that at the time of lockdowns, people were where they were supposed to be, that we weren't off riding around anywhere. So in 6 weeks, which was 3 weeks ago, maybe, there's supposed to be something big coming out. And let's not forget about that, because we were all about the 2,000 kilowatts of Miyadakis. Yeah, I don't want to use these words too much. But they actually said that what we found is going to make you completely forget about that whole movie. You're not even going to be, this information is going to be so mind-blowing that it'll blow that completely out of water. And they said that. That is word for word. You can go back to the video on my Rumble page. And so, on top of that, you've got another thing, by the way. I was watching this thing with Nick Moseder, and I do keep up with him. He actually brought some information out about some of the things going on in Georgia when it came to why they had to do the recount so many times. Uh, and I'll just give you a little rundown without talking too much. But you had these fax machines that everybody used, or better yet, fax machines. We'll call them that because it's real similar. You put the paper in, it goes through, and it reads it, and it does something with that. Okay, and documents we'll call that. And there were supposed to be these cards that they used to store the all the information that would be uploaded to them after they ran all the papers through there that we would normally do. This, like, by the way, for anybody who's watching this mess, you do this every 4 years to choose the main guy in office. So, and every 2 years for midterms. That's what we're talking about now. Well, there was a big mix-up where the people that were actually supposed to upload all this stuff didn't put all the information in, and they tried to blame it on human error and to make it look way more complicated. But we all know the reason why, what they were trying to do, because especially whenever somebody that was trailing in third place after the hand recount and actually gathered up all of the primaries that were put together, instead of having them on these separate things that never got plugged into the fax machine so that the information could be uploaded, found out that that was done. It's not, and it's not like, there was a total of, if I'm not mistaken, there was a total of 10 of these that had to be put in these machines. And so the people were trying to throw off saying that there was we just forgot to put they thought the other one was a copy. That's not the case, because 7 out of the 10 got put in there. Why did the other 3? What's up with that? So many things just went crazy and haywire in Georgia. And when I find out more, I'll talk a little bit more about that. But anyhow, it is the weekend. We are going to have fun, and we are winning. And let me explain something to everybody. As long as I can do this, I will. As long as I've got a voice, as long as I've got this cell phone aimed at me and it can record, and I've got somewhere to put this voice, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do my best to keep a conservative message, try to change the narrative of what's going on, this online crap that we've got, this information warfare, all this so-called disinformation that everybody talks about. We stand against that. That's right. We stand against disinformation. So, anyhow, thank y'all once again. I'm going to go home. We're going to get out and have a good weekend, and y'all do too. And I'll do some more stuff. We got more news coming out. I'll try to get some more videos out in the weekend. I've got a lot planned, so we're going to try our best. Thank you very much again. Lots of love. God is in control. Thank you, all the new subscribers. Please check to make sure your notification bell is up. Since YouTube is really mad at me right now, it's taking everybody's notification bell off, and it's actually pulling my subscriber list back down, which that's okay. We'll be fine. We've had this happen before. We know that we're over the target, and we're just going to keep working. We're just going to keep plunging away. Old plunger. Speaking of plunger, Stacy the Tank Abrams. Anyways, I'm out.